Good day all and welcome to Obidati Family TV. The program na Hope Alive. Yes, hope day and na plenty hope. On a good morning, afternoon and evening, depending where on they watch us from. Plenty things they happen for Naija and with the carry and come out make we tell all obedience and well-meaning Nigerians everywhere. In Nigeria, the worst leads the best. Now waiting with the see. The sick leads the healthy. The unintelligent leads the intelligentsia. Money is worshipped, not God. Corruption is a sure way to go to get to the top. Those who know nothing are preferred to those who know something. Those we fielded to play for us are those who have no capacity to score the much needed goals. The followers prefer to get quick and temporal money today and endure suffering tomorrow. Those who know follow bad roads, foist on the people who cannot help the people but themselves. Selfish interest is more important than anything else. Without one, my people, I go tell una say, na Naija where we dey be that. And without one, we get plenty things where we say we go talk. Especially wetin dey happen now. Tinubu don already declare, tell Supreme Court, say make dem no receive this particular evidence where we dey talk about. Everybody dey talk about the forgery, the certificate forgery. Tinubu has filed their response, and instead of talking about the issues that are pertinent to the petitioner's claims in Supreme Court, they have joined issues on the motion that has not even been approved or they have not given them leave to file that particular new evidence, something that they moved in. Because from what I understand from Supreme Court rules, until the court accepts that, then the respondents can respond. But I can tell you that as of today, that Tinubu has asked the Supreme Court or urged the Supreme Court not to listen to that very petition. Yes, we know he claimed that harm and serious injury will be done to him if it is revealed. Yet, the same technicalities that they applied at Haruna Samani is what they are doing again, saying that that evidence should not be entertained by the Supreme Court, that it has not come in before. Whatever the plans is, we are bringing it to the forefront. Other things that we want to talk again today is we want to bring the P2B's response to the brief of arguments that Tinubu and the APC and the INEC, all what they brought in and what the responses are. And we will give you a link to where you are going to get all the briefs to see what has been said. The people will be saying and they follow me to talk all of these things. I get Princess for studio. I get Esther for studio. I get our own UC Maxwell who can analyze all the legal jargons and all the things where they want to talk. And in there for Zoom. So we will start from studio. We will come meet them for Zoom. Una welcome.
Good day, well-meaning Nigerians and my fellow obedience worldwide. Welcome back again to Hope Alive. It's been a bumpy road to trying to get back our mandates, but we'll not relent now. Despite the fact that Tinubu's government and everything, whatever they throw at us, we will not even look at it, we'll jump and pass. BBC has already responded to the complaints that we have been sending to them since they gave out that misleading and untrue reports about Tinubu's CSU case. So all this and more we'll discuss this evening. Join us.
Yes, so good evening, obedient and well-meaning Nigerians. Welcome to another episode of Hope Alive. My people, even as you are patiently waiting for the Supreme Court judgment, the question remains, will the Supreme Court uphold itself with dignity? The question still remains, are we ready to take back our country? This and more is what we are going to discuss on today's show. Welcome on board and join us.
Yes, are we ready to take back our country? Nigeria is at the mercy of its own citizens. Nigerians betrayed Nigeria on the basis of selfishness. Nobody thinks good of one another but themselves. Anyway, let's look first at what Tinubu dares the Supreme Court. And I'm going to read it out for people who has a smaller device so that we can get it across. This thing is pulled out from the brief of arguments that are submitted to the Supreme Court, or let me position it as Tinubu's submission to Supreme Court. He said, without prejudice to our objection to this issue, we submit that the arguments regarding a purported case number 1-23CV05009 in re application of Atiku for an order directing discovery from Chicago State University, he said, is alien to these proceedings, does not arise from the record or the judgment of the lower court, and cannot be countenanced by this honorable court. And we urge the court to so hold. This grammar simply means say they no even want make the Supreme Court entertain that. Say Haruna Samani no listen to them, say make they no listen to them. That one, now one of the things we will talk. Now, before we get to come back through to begin the talk of these things, I want make I begin the show now all the things where P2B don't respond to. Because many people, they ask, say, waiting they happen for Supreme Court. We get the first respondent brief of argument. That respondent brief of argument, as they show for screen, now the things will be said then don't drop, will be the respondent, the first respondent will be INEC. Then we get the appellant response, will be say follow that is the reply to the brief of the first respondents of argument. All of these documents, we don't send them to one link, will be say it there for description, or it there for one of the distance for this very show where we there now. We they put them there so that anybody will won't go see the whole things will be said and talk for there. The person go see them. Then we get another one where they follow them. That is the second and third respondents brief of argument. The second and third respondents, that is a Tinubu and Shetima's the brief of argument. And then we get our own appellant reply to brief of the argument, waiting we talk for them, for waiting them talk. I no won't go into all of these things because of say it plenty, the talk plenty, and it go fit take our time. That's why I put the link so that anybody who won't get hold of these documents go for our for this program now, for the description link. Suppose they there, when you click there, it go carry you go to where you go get these things. Then we get the fourth respondent brief of argument, where be saying APC, and we get our own response to that their brief of argument. So all the issues don't join together for inside. All this one na P2B's response to all the things where then they talk for their own argument where then they make for inside there. So, but we go take their argument, waiting P2B argument B. We go take them one by one. But for now, we want make we dive direct to the one where we say it they happen, when no supposed happen for now, which is the Tinubu's response to daring the Supreme Court not to touch the fresh evidence, because as in talk, say this fresh evidence go inflict harm to Ram and it go cause some irreparable damage. Make I start with our person wey be you see Maxwell wey there for Zoom. Maxwell, you see wetin Tinubu talk, and that thing wey him talk, e be like say na for paragraph 6.45 for their brief, for their submission. Now for there I bring this thing out, and the producer if it put am there make Maxwell for see wetin Tinubu dey talk to Supreme Court make them no do. So Maxwell, I hope you dey there and whether you dey follow us as the thing dey take be.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to everybody with the for studio and every other person where they listen to this show. We don't say we don't go a lot of levels for this entire issue we concern this Tinubu case and the election where they for court. And with the issues of Tinubu asking, say, may they no release documents, we relate to you don't say waiting in been talk say it go cause some irreparable damage. Truly, the thing don't cause some irreparable damage. Waiting in they argue for here be say this entire thing no emanate from waiting the election petition tribunal will be the court of appeal waiting they don't already talk for the lower level. So in the tell court say may they no accept this entire proceedings where Atiku don't go hustle for Chicago, where Atiku don't already go check for where don't go do findings where consign Bola Tinubu certificate, and then they don't give them the certificate and they don't give them the position. In they argue say make them no accept them because of say the thing no arise from the court of first instance. But we don't already talk about this issue, say whether something come out from court of first instance or come out from court of first instance, is there a possibility for the court to accept this fresh evidence on appeal? And we have already analyzed that yes, there is a possibility for the Supreme Court to accept fresh evidence. And if there is a possibility, we've also said that there is this discretion on the court, that the court can decide to choose whether it will accept or it will not accept. So what we are seeing from the person of Bola Tinubu is just a case of him telling the court or giving the court some arguments why they should not accept the argument or why they should not accept the document. It does not mean that the court cannot or will not accept it. So his argument on the basis that it did not emanate from the judgment, everything must not emanate from the judgment of the lower court. There are still possibilities for fresh things to be brought into the court as long as all the criteria that are provided for law have already been met. It suffices. So that is the position of things. I've already talked about these things as a
let me quickly add something. What I understand, the last time we spoke, you said something about if the process is that they are going to make a motion to Supreme Court, asking them for a leave to file this very new evidence, and that from what you brought from that rules, that the respondents don't have to respond to that motion. But now what I'm seeing is that they have filed the motion, the court has not even been constituted, but they have started attacking the new evidence, even when the Supreme Court has not expressly accepted the motion or given them the leave to proceed. But he has started shouting. That's where I'm coming from.
Well, I feel like we already know what the position is. They have the right to approach the court to accept this fresh evidence. That is for Atiku. And for Tinubu, it's just a case of anticipating the ugly. He's trying to be ready for whatever is coming, in front. If a person moves a motion before the court for the court to grant leave. The court can decide to grant that leave or not to grant it. If there is a supporting affidavit, as long as it has been filed, the rule of law allows, the opposition to probably allow them, it allows them to advance arguments to the effect that they don't want these documents to be adduced. They may be able to argue on reasons because they are all parties to the case. If a motion is made before the court, other parties to that particular proceedings have the right to reply such motions, to argue about such motions, as long as the party who is making the motions have also made their own argument on why they are making the motion and why the motion should be granted. So each party to the case have the authority, to make arguments against or for the motion that has been made by a party. So it still falls back to the court to now decide if to stand by the arguments of the person who is making the motion. And the motion to adduce the motion for leave is still at the discretion of the court. I've already said that before. No matter what are the arguments that he's advancing now, if the documents are later admitted, he would still advance another argument on those fresh evidence, because a party who have been allowed to adduce fresh evidence is also subject to the replies to the respondents in that particular suit. So whatever case it is, Tinubu has the right of reply. Tinubu has the right to advance his own arguments against the leave, against the motions that have been presented, before the court.
Thank you very much, Maxwell. You explain that, give us as a thing they very okay, and it be like say they just join the issue like you talk, because of say they need to join issues at any time where they want, and then the court, once they grant leave, they can start exchanging briefs on that one. But well, I see say for our comment section, some people they ask question about which way Nigerians or this, but and the suffering of Nigerians. But what I feel talk for inside that one be said, the suffering of the vast majority of the people is the happiest moment for the tiny but powerful cabal. We just need to understand that. Nobody is good enough for the self-appointed rulers than imposing themselves on the people, killing and other things that happen in Nigeria. We just need to understand that. Take, for example, we come back to the studio here now. We take, for example, what has happened with the BBC propaganda. I think you were able to dissect and view the news of what I think Frank Shaibu had an interview with, I think, Channels Television.
Yes. After the we all saw BBC News, give out the such untrue statements or reports about the Tinubu CSU case. Atiku filed a petition with them, and they finally realized that three of the people that actually wrote the report actually worked with TVC as of 2009. In fact, one of them, what's his name again? Olaronke. Yes, Olaronke worked with TVC in 2019. And this other two, they were not even employees of BBC. They were just gotten through a fact-check team. Okay. So they don't necessarily even have a right for that kind of reports that they give. And so it's not a surprise what they actually said, because you can see that one way or the other, they are affiliated with Tinubu's camp. Do you understand? And that's how yesterday or so BBC had to reply to the complaint, because after that, you trust well-meaning Nigerians now. They were bombarding their website, calling them and all that, just like we told them to. And they listened and everyone was bombarding them.
I think BBC and advice. Yeah. I think one of our people well-meaning Nigeria, I don't know if he distinguished Field Marshal this thing, that made a tweet that he contacted them or something like that.
Yes, she gave out her reply.
Okay, can we actually show our people some of the tweets that our people has done, well-meaning Nigerians who said things that has to do. Okay, this is Field Marshal.
By Bolanle. It's actually by Bolanle.
Yeah, but we can start with the Field Marshal. I think it's General Oluchi, right?
Yeah.
General Oluchi has changed to the a Field Marshal on the Han Dynasty. That's okay, very good. So here we have the one from General Oluchi who said Bola Tinubu presented a forged diploma to INEC. Said when Atiku demanded for his records to be released, Tinubu hired a lawyer to block it, claiming that releasing his records will cause irreparable damage. When his records were released, we did not see the copy he submitted to INEC, which again means he forged it. We also noted discrepancies in his name, date of birth, and overall identity. During the deposition, CSU Registrar Kale Westberg stated on oath that he does not recognize the diploma Tinubu submitted to INEC and that the school did not issue it to him. There are the issues. You know what I like about this? I think Oluchi kind of buying our idea going straight to the point. You understand me?
Yeah.
He said when his records were released, we did not see the copy he submitted to INEC. It's straight to the point.
Yes.
We didn't see that copy.
Very direct.
Very, very distinct. Okay, we have Bolanle who said, I have given my feedback to the BBC. I told them that the article in question goes against one of the core values of the BBC, which is that trust is the foundation of the BBC. We are independent, impartial, and truthful. I told them that the article was neither accurate or balanced. The writers showed bias and deliberately went out of their way to disinform, manipulate readers, and provide Bola Tinubu with a soft landing and a reprieve from the rising descent, both here in the UK and in Nigeria. I told them that I know that one could argue that this is a mere opinion piece and that the writers were entitled to it. However, they gave an emphatic opinion that the CSU certificate was not forged when the evidence suggests otherwise. I also questioned how the BBC would sign off this article for the publication in the first place and asked if this was what the money they get from the taxpayers is being spent on. I asked if they had become purveyors of fake news. Question. I insisted that the article should be removed from their website and all social media platforms and an apology be issued by the chief editor who signed it off. If you have not done so, please call the BBC or complain on their website. I think she's finally referring to people who wants to, do that, to do what she has done, yes, and all of that.
And after all
but
this,
there is something very interesting about what Distinguished said. He said in the overall presentation of the documentation being released by Chicago State University, he said there was no document from that INEC one. That is very, very instructive. Yeah. Sometimes we might talk a whole lot of things, but something will ring a bell. Maxwell, are you there? I want you to look at this very General Oluchi's point of view. He said the INEC certificate submitted by Bola Tinubu to INEC was never brought by this university. It never came out from them. We didn't even look at it from that perspective. What's your comment on that? Maxwell, are you there? Okay, I think maybe we've lost Maxwell. Let's hope when he comes back.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now, Maxwell. Did you hear my question?
I don't know. My network. I didn't hear it. My network has been fluctuating.
Okay, we have a tweet from General Lucci that went straight to the point on this forgery on the certificate. He said, when his records were released, we did not see any copy he submitted to INEC. Excuse me. Can you please respond to that? While I take a little sip of water.
All right. The fact has always been that there are, clear truths. There are clear evidences there are things that are considered facts. Things that have not been disputed, both by Tinubu, by Atiku, by CSU, by the court. Absolute nobody has disputed some of these facts. Now, Bola Tinubu presented a forged certificate to INEC. And when you look at the certificate Bola Tinubu presented, you now have to go back to the deposition for which the CSU has made. And when you read through that deposition carefully, there are evidences that the CSU denied that document. They said they've never seen that document, they did not issue that document, and that the document did not emanate from them. They did not sign the document, they did not certificate the document. That is on one hand. On another hand is the fact that Chicago State University, Caleb Westberg, who was testifying, making that deposition, claimed that a replacement certificate was ordered. And that is the only certificate that they have in their possession. They also said that if they have a certificate in their possession, it means that the owner of the certificate has not picked it up. So we have two things here. First, they deny the certificates that Bola Tinubu presented. Then going forward, Bola Tinubu said that certificate was a replacement, and they are now saying that we have not given out that replacement. The replacement is still in our possession. So what Bola Tinubu definitely has is not a replacement, and is not an original result. And it does not even look like any of the original results for which the Chicago State University had provided in their PDF, for which they sent to for which they sent to Atiku, and which has been made available to the public. So it can only be brought to one conclusion, and I've said it time and time again. There are ways of proving that a document was forged. If an issuing authority claims that or asserts that it did not issue a document, it suffices that that document is forged, that that document has been manipulated, that that document is false. If an issuing authority provides an original, which they provided in CSU 11 and CSU 12, and the certificate that the other person has is not a replica of that original, it simply means that that document is forged. And that is the exact situation and scenario where Bola Tinubu finds himself currently. That the two statements he had made, that the certificate he had presented, he got it as a certificate in 1979, has been debunked. And while debunking it, they did not only debunk the fact that this certificate did not emanate from them, they went ahead to say, even if you say we replaced, the replacement that you said we did not give you the replacement. The replacement is still with us. The only person we gave a replacement is to Enahoro Eba. And that is what Atiku presented in court to prove that his own document was forged. So it is clear as daylight that as long as these documents do not tally with the depositions and the documents that CSU has brought forward, it is a forged document. Thank you.
Max, thank you. Let's look at another tweet from, I think, Queen B. Queen B has a tweet that says, just like the Injustice Haruna Samani, Justice John Iyango Okoro will coordinate the panel. Well, this is something that Queen B tweeted, and we feel that sometimes you don't know who is saying the truth because of where we are from. So he said Justice Okoro has already agreed to play the ball in favor of Tinubu He is currently coordinating 3 other justices of the Supreme Court at this moment insists on following the Electoral Act and the Constitution. She said there are a total of 11 justices currently in the Supreme Court. He says your CJN be a well-known Tinubu's man and Kekerekun, who has a relationship with Atiku through her husband, who is a serving board member of American University of Nigeria, Yola, owned by Atiku, have both recused themselves to avoid conflict of interest. Justice Iang Okoro is trying hard to convince 3 other justices to back Tinubu so that they can get an unambiguous judgment from all the 7 justices required by law to be on the panel. However, the other 3, including himself, making them 4, have been blackmailed to submission by the DSS led by Yusuf Bichi. Also, the Nigerian Attorney General, Yusuf Fagbemi, is the one orchestrating the plans as the middleman between Tinubu's camp and the Supreme Court through Justice Iang Okoro. The matter has been complicated by the steadfast commitment of these 3 justices to uphold the rules set forth in the Electoral Act and the Constitution. This has created challenges for Justice Okoro and the Chief Justice of Nigeria, considering the limited number of justices available at the Supreme Court. Currently, there are 11 justices in total, but with the recusal of both Chief Justice Olukayode Ariwola and Justice Kekerekun, due to the conflict of interest, only 9 remains from which 7 must be selected. If these 3 justices continue to insist on following the law without compromise, there will be only 6 justices available, falling short of the 7 required by law. The situation remains fluid. We anticipate further developments regarding the composition of the panel. Stay tuned for updates as we expect to receive more information at 6 p.m. today on what you must do from now. This one now from Queen B. And sometimes we go talk say things where they come out from social media or from tweets saying are fake news. We no confirm all these things where we say we know if we just let and go because some things don't happen for this our Nigeria where we know. Where we say now only from tweet we they see and we go talk am. Like the one of INEC. And don't talk am tweet and talk say then go bring glitch come for election day. And then talk say it no go happen. Then talk say all those things. But finally, they even address them as fake news. They said it was unfounded. Finally, there was glitch on that day. You get something again where this Queen B talk. Where be say I won't make you hear. He even challenge the Supreme Court, say make them dare, make him for expose some things. He talk other things like Tinubu's health, but I don't want to go to somebody's health. But let's look at this very one. He said the latest information is that the Chief Justice of Nigeria has instructed that all outcome be sent to him directly. Now, Queen B, they talk, our own now to bring waiting people talk for chat where they available for internet or where they are available for X, will be Twitter. He said the outcome of the meeting will be passed on to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who has asked that no more communications be made to any of the justices except if it is with the negotiating judge. All the meetings and information that have passed through Justice Iang John Okoro and other justices have been trapped. Your Chief Justice of Nigeria is furiously furious about the releases. We are currently changing our strategy. There's one other tweet where this Queen B do. He say he does the Supreme Court to make him release some things or make her release some things. We did the watch. We go to follow them for tweets. We go to follow them for different platforms where we there. Where be people where they there because the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the interesting thing be saying a human being and he live with driver. You know go fit do without cook or you know if you do without boy and the other things. So information they come out, the plans where then they talk say then get to favor Tinubu without following the constitution. All those ones, if then they reveal I'm going to bring them, they come out, make we they follow the things. Because when we talk say our eyes there for judiciary, all those ones follow. But all the same, we no talk say we don't verify this information, but we they get the things where our other people they talk for X will be Twitter and will carry and come out, because for Nigeria now nobody know wetin be true. Before people they talk see wetin Samani they won't talk for their own. Nobody believe them. Finally, 13 hours now it take I be 14 or 15 hours. Now it take for them to read us something where we don't know where it come out from. But some people don't talk am for Twitter since. Them talk say they don't know what then they do. Finally, then come read us the same thing. Anyway, make we come back to studio. Make we for finish waiting with the talk. I hear waiting you the gist before for here when I the talk. Waiting won't conclude on waiting happen with BBC. Yes, quickly make we enter another thing.
Oh, okay. So just before we read the tweets, I wanted to also put in that BBC has already, you know, they have replied to the complaints that have been made, and they promised to escalate the complaints that were made regarding the Tinubu's case, the report that they made earlier, when their attention, an advisor actually is the one that said this, an advisor of BBC was one that stated this thing I'm saying now. Going to, after his attention was drawn to the CSU deposition that was given by CSU Caleb Westberg. They said that they were going to escalate it, meaning this statement is kind of, it seems like there was no prior knowledge of this deposition in the first place. It seems like as if maybe they just got a little bit of this deposition, gave it to them, and they just told them, just read it on. This is what it says, without fully digesting the entirety of the deposition. Do you understand? Yeah. So them saying this now is more like saying, oh, we didn't really have a full knowledge of this whole thing going on. We are going to, we are going to review it or go back to it after plenty of complaints have been sent to them. And we hope that they make the right choice and apologize, because this is actually big. This is definitely big. So that's that.
Okay, thank you for that very one. I see say Esther, your mother they do more since.
Okay, in addition to waiting Princess on top, when that thing emerged yesterday, we're not saying in fact it was really a silly paid article, because the whole write-up, nothing, the thing not even jail at all self. The thing not even jail. You know say you get as monkey hand don't take enter pot of soup, because from their story they wanted to reach to APC, they reached to Atiku, this one, that one. They still not even jail at all. So but we trust, kudos to the obedient and well-meaning Nigerians that wrote to them immediately, and thank you. And we want to also thank their correspondent for responding, and we oblige them to take immediate action and call back those people that did such things, because it's not a good reputation for them at all.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. You know, in Nigeria, what we do is that we preach democracy, but we operate monetocracy and dollarcracy. Both the political actors and delegates who have been given power to select the best go for the worst, for no other reason than the love of money, which is the root of all our evils in this country. What a country, what a shame. Nigeria is in the midst of ocean, but thirsty for credible leadership. Who will deliver Nigerians from this Nigeria that have destroyed our collective destiny, if not P2B? Huh? Anyway, let's take a listen to what Dele Momodu spoke about this very particular thing we're talking about. Let's just take a brief listen to Dele Momodu, and we'll come back shortly.
On social media, they will continue to struggle. Nobody is talking about whether a man went to school or not. That's not the argument. That's not the argument. All the things you submitted to INEC under scrutiny. Were they genuine? The answer is no. Oh, but the school has said he graduated from, is that it? Anyone with common sense, simple common sense, will just apologize. Oh, we're sorry. We didn't know there was a mix-up. Even if people won't accept, it will be on record that you have apologized and you have atoned. But to be insulting Nigerians on top of it is the height of shamelessness. You tell Nigerians that he graduated from school. Is that what they are saying? Internationally, people under the position are saying that your president was a student in our school. No problem. But how did he get to your school? A record from a secondary school in Lagos who did not exist. That school did not exist. Government College Lagos did not exist before 1974. And you have a document in that file saying he finished school in 1970. I mean, why can't you simply apologize and move on? Like I said, it does not mean people will take the apology. But at least start from somewhere. You are insulting us. We should shut up because we are your friends. And you are allowing these boys who are just coming to collect peanuts, to insult everybody on social media. Oh, the school has said he graduated. Is that the argument? That he graduated. It's not about Atiku. It's no longer about Atiku. And I'm happy that Atiku has shifted the burden to Nigerians. It's no longer about him. If the Supreme Court finds the courage, fine, they don't, whatever, nobody cares any longer. Atiku has put his resources, has invested his resources in his belief, in his principle. And he has moved on. He has fulfilled all righteousness. What insult? He graduated trying to deflect.
Anything and get away with it. No accountability. Nothing is done in accordance with due process. Laws and Nigerian constitution are always obeyed in breach. Institutions are not manned by those who should man them. There are lawlessness everywhere. Nobody cares. Anyway, we know what happened with the EFCC that is going around. We heard somebody else had been appointed to head EFCC who had no experience whatsoever in security, who had no business being there, not as accorded by the act. But anyway, that would be a talk for some other time. But for now, I want us to look at what Abati said that is paining me. They touch my liver. They touch my liver. Let's take a listen to what he said about P2B's press conference, and then we take it off from there. Briefly, please.
Press conference by Mr. Peter Obi yesterday. I thought it was needless. If Mr. Peter Obi is considering a career in evangelism, yeah, there are many people who have gone from other careers into evangelism, but within the framework of the electoral process, what he did yesterday was just, in my view, just seeking media attention, looking for publicity. Why do I say so? The electoral process is effectively a process. If you, as a principal member of the process, if you have any grievances, the best place to go to is the court of law, and which is what Atiku Abubakar has done, the presidential candidate of the PDP, pursuing his matter in the court of law. The last time Waziri Atiku Abubakar had a press conference, he came out and said he wanted the candidate of the NMPP, Rabiu Kwankwanso, to join him, and also Peter Obi of the Labour Party to join him. The Labour Party released a statement and said they were not part of it. Okay, Is it that now the Labour Party has changed its mind? The only appropriate forum that Mr. Peter Obi can adopt is to go to court, to say he has issues to raise. But to come forward and then be giving a press conference and moralizing, it doesn't quite fall within the framework of the matter before us. But of course, for publicity purposes, for attention-seeking purposes, what he has said has generated attention. And I think that the response that he has received from Felix Moka of the APC is in place. What Felix Moka has said is that the 8.9 million people who voted for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the election, in the presidential election, they were not groggy when they did. So there's clearly a division on the matter in Nigeria. And the only place you can resolve it is not through propaganda, it's not media attention, it's in the court of law. So Mr. Peter Obi must be very clear about the fact that the matter is now before the Supreme Court, and it's only the Supreme Court that can decide on that particular matter.
So we have heard this from Abati, and as we know, this same Reuben Abati, who is now calling Peter Obi an evangelist, is the same person whom even somebody on their show has told him that he's a Baptist. That they said he is a boy of Tinubu. He's a stooge of Tinubu. And if people on the comment section or somebody who thinks he is not, maybe we take a listen. He was told on a live TV that he's a flock of Tinubu, that he should come back to them. Now he has started manifesting this, whether he's expecting to get appointment or he has been promised of. But all those things will go just expose and small, because since he don't deal with EFCC, then still they look for him. But let's take a listen so that somebody will understand that where he's coming from. He is from Tinubu's camp. Let's take a listen.
We're watching brief on developments in Kogi State.
It's time now.
Let me.
Okay.
You know, you have been very hard on our party, Ruben. You have been very hard on the APC. Very, very hard.
I'm not.
And you and
I'm doing my job.
I'm doing my job. Remember.
Interesting. All right.
You know, you and I, we are Shiwaju's boy, Ruben Abati. you now Jetishon and Shiwaju. We are together with we are Shiwaju's boy, including yourself.
All right. Thank you,
Ruben,
Senator Adeyemi.
You better come back home. Come back to where you belong.
Thank you, Senator Adeyemi. You're trying to recruit Dr. Abati right here to a political party. Always a politician. Well, thank you for your time.
Reuben Abati has gone back to where he really belongs, to have opened his mouth to make that statement that Peter Obi is more of an evangelist. I think he has gone back to his camp, which is Tinubu's camp. And our people should be now very mindful of that very fact. And Maxwell, looking forward to this, we know that this guy has been, even there's people that worked with them that are telling him different things. We can see one of this from Spotlight Baby, who said that the deputy MD and our Rise News analyst, Emmanuel Efe, reacts to Reuben Abati's comments. He said, I don't think Mr. Peter Obi has done anything unusual in calling out Tinubu. It should concern all Nigerians, home and abroad. And Reuben, we will continue to have our say in the court of public opinion. That is Emmanuel Efeni, a Rise News analyst, and I think an MD, deputy MD at Arise. So Maxwell, we can see even his own colleagues are cautioning him. We also have a lot of things that are being said by Hussein, that is his colleague, which is Rufai also. But more importantly, I want to see your own perspective of this. What do you think drives him to actually talk like this about Peter Obi whom everybody, not just the obedience or well-meaning Nigeria, but somebody who had been respected everywhere on how he conducts himself. What do you think?
I think Mr. or Dr. Ruben Abati needs to take a chill pill. I feel like he's beginning to overdo, even if all he's doing is as a result of probably brown envelope or whatever it may be. I am not saying that is what it is, but I'm saying even if, I think he needs to slow down. I find it rather insulting for Ruben Abati to look at Peter Obi, who joined a new party. He left a party and joined another party 8 months to election. And in that election, Peter Obi got as much as over 6 million votes. Over 6 million votes. I think it is very, very demeaning for Ruben Abati to look at Peter Obi and say that he's chasing clout, that he's looking for followers. A man who was a 2-time governor in Anambra State. I think it is very, very insulting. And Ruben Abati should take a cue from what has happened to his colleagues who have decided to, play this line of politics. Smart Adeyemi was saying what he knew very well, what was within his knowledge. Of course, Ruben Abati is a boy to Bola Tinubu. It is public knowledge, it is general knowledge. But he needs to now decide if he wants to be a politician or a journalist. It is very important for him to decide at this point in time. Because for him to say that it was highly unnecessary and unprofessional for Peter Obi to address the CSU issue is, in fact, it shows that Ruben Abati does not have the interest of Nigeria at heart. The certificate forgery issue against Bola Tinubu has gone beyond a court case, like Peter Obi rightly said, and it is now a national issue, an issue that has brought disgrace to the entirety of Nigeria, that have also brought, ridicule to Nigerians and Nigeria. It has made Nigerians not to be respected every other place in the world. Mr. Kanu, I don't know whether you are aware, there is a recent report that was released, where they were supposed to vote for people who will be members of the Human Rights Council. Now, the Human Rights Council is the United Nations premier rights body that is tasked with the responsibility to uphold and advance fundamental freedoms, globally. And in that voting, it will shock you to know that every other African country that was voted for there had nothing less than 160 votes to be members of that Human Rights Council. But Nigeria got only 3 votes. Mr. Kanu, 3 votes. Because they've seen our country as a country that does not respect human rights, where, democracy is not properly entrenched, in a place where we have allowed a person who has violated every electoral provision to become president. And Ruben Abati thinks that Peter will be talking about it is highly unnecessary. I find it very, very insulting. And he should actually apologize, to the general public, because if he's chasing a particular agenda, if he's expecting political appointments, he should leave the seat of journalism. He needs to leave the seat of journalism. It's very important that, he's aware of these things. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Maxwell. As you can see, we also note that colleagues, they all reprimanded him, and they said some things that he should also take note of, not just coming from us, but also from colleagues. Like, let's even take a snippet of what's that is this thing, Rufai. Yeah, exactly. Let's take a snippet of Rufai.
For us, it's for us to sit back now and introspect as a society. Because you see, you were talking this morning, and I'd like to disagree with you mildly, because we know people are suffering in Nigeria. We know people, there's a lot of pain and all of that. This matter on ground is not a distraction, because this is where the leadership even comes from in the first place. You are wondering why people suffered constantly. It's because the process that brings about our leadership is suspect. There's no level of accountability. So you now get leaders that don't even think about the suffering of the people and can't provide solutions to the problem. How do you want to have it? How do you want to have it when you have a level of leadership like this in the first place? And check across board. It's not even the presidential level, even governorship level. This is the same country where a governor was asked about the school he went to. He said the case is in courts. So it is time for us to look deeply. I don't think we've done that enough as a country. Is this the country we truly want for ourselves? Can we be proud to bequeath this for the generation yet unborn? Or we want a country of technicalities as long as I'll get my way?
Actually, Robert, you want to...
For people will be saying our own people where they watch us everywhere on a day, make una for like and share this video, make other people know what they happen for the Supreme Court as the Queen Bee take talk and a small like this then go they talk, we no say things don't begin to happen for somewhere because we don't leave Haruna Samani for their own side, things come water for that side. Now you don't reach for Supreme Court side, we don't begin to hear saying a blacksmail, then they blacksmail these people and other things will be saying they happen. Now in as much as we know fit confirm these very things, we they bring and come out, we they tell people say see how they take talk and where they talk more, so that if you go to their own tweet handle and see other things will be say he did there because not be everything where they talk now with they carry come out. Even some people they talk say Tinubu they sick, but me I tell them say I no one profile that one, I no one begin they talk about person we see because anybody fit they sick. Then talk say since when come back from that hunger where you go say plenty things will be said and they talk. But all those ones there for tweet platform, there for different places where we say we go check them out. But for the things where we say concern the Supreme Court and all the response where I don't talk, it did for there. We go soon break down the things where we say then they talk for inside and the responses where we say it come out from the Supreme Court. But most importantly, as we won't close, make you for no say that certificate will be say the Tinubu submit to INEC na forged certificate. How did we know? Because the authentic certificate now people will get and will be Chicago State University. Now they show us the thing as he there for screen will be the authentic one. He get the one where we say they show us, and that very one now be the replacement diploma. Now they call the authentic diploma. Now this thing now with the carry go. Aside from all the other things where we say with the carry go, this one now the major disqualification point. P2OBS they talk about disqualification for different angle, but the important one will be say it dey very key. Now this disqualification as a result of forgery. It is very, very crucial. So we're going to talk them every day. How do you know whenever you want to prove to anybody? Tell them there is an authentic replacement diploma, confirmed, authenticated by Chicago State University. And then we have the one that Tinubu gave to INEC, which when you compare both of them, you see that even the dates in the two certificates are not the same. So many things are wrong with it. But what is important is not the same thing. And this did not emanate from the discovery at Chicago State University. This one was not part of what was produced by the Chicago State University. So as you ponder about all this to convince the other people that Tinubu submitted a forged certificate to INEC, I simply ask you to like and share this video. Tomorrow will come your way again. Bye for now.